box score. Make sure to tune in to the DenCo Gridiron Show.
Coach Michael Young, how are you, sir?
Great. How are you guys?
Doing fantastic. So, thank you so much for being on the show with us today, man.
I'm glad to be here.
Man, did you redo your office, or are you in a different room there in the field house?
I'm down here in the defensive dungeon room for the defense. Yeah. The only place I can find quiet. We got coaches coming in and out for lunch breaks right now, so I don't want.
I know it gets very noisy there in the field house. I've been there several times and had the privilege of doing your coaches show for a couple seasons. And I know in talking to you during this off season, you're anxious to get back, and all the coaches are, all the players are, all the fans are. What's it been like at Lake Dallas on the campus to get everybody back, on the field and together as a unit?
Well, it's been great to see that, to put pads on Monday or put the helmets on Monday was a big deal. But, we've been like Coach Hennigan, I heard him say earlier, we've been going at this since June. So we've really been together and working hard for quite a while now to get to this point. But it is exciting to kind of see that, there were some times a month or two ago we didn't know if we were going to get to play. But you can see now that it's coming, and it's coming fast, and that is exciting, I think, through the school and through the community and the kids and coaches.
Have you been able to talk to some 4A coaches? I know, man, coaching is such a fraternity. You've got connections, not just over the state of Texas, but in other states. Have you talked to some of the other coaches in the 4A classification or below that have gotten like 2 games under their belt, and kind of just gauge on what it's been like for them and how they've gone about their business?
I haven't talked to a lot of them, but I've been watching a lot of games. I've got to watch the Lindsey Munster game the other day. I've never got to watch a Kraut Bowl before.
Yeah.
Always been playing. I have some family that's up in that area, so I've enjoyed watching some of those games. I've watched how they paid attention, kind of how they're doing things on their sidelines and in the stands. You can kind of see some things. So I have paid attention to that and enjoyed watching some of the football. And the good news is we haven't heard anything from those schools of having any problems. So that's good news for everybody too.
That is good.
Coach, I know that, you just mentioned, it seemed like just a while ago, we didn't even know if we were going to get on the field. And I know that just a couple weeks ago, you were in on several Zoom meetings, I'm sure, just doing all those reschedulings with the rest of your district and just trying to get all of your schedules right, not just for varsity, but also for JV and the freshmen, and just making sure that every player and every coach and every program in y'all's district was ready to get out there. How stressful were those meetings and just trying to get all of that done, not just in general, but having to do it, over Zoom on your computers and just continuing to try and make the season work during that time?
Well, I think about 3 or 4 weeks ago was probably as stressful as we've ever had during a season. That's when we're kind of figuring out schedules, what we're going on. Like, for example, I remember when the Fort Worth came out and said that they were going to postpone and they weren't going to start for a while. But the first thing I thought of was who we were scrimmaging was Azle. I remember looking them up, and their address is actually Wise County, so I didn't think about it. But their admin building is actually in Fort Worth address, so I didn't even think about calling them. And about 6 hours later, I got a call. Well, we weren't going to have a scrimmage, so trying to find scrimmages last minute. But there was just a lot of things. We're not used to all this stuff that goes on. Coaches, especially me and my staff, we've been here for 15 years, going on 16, most of all of us together. So it's really easy. The start of practice, our schedules, what we do. When you throw all this into it, it's totally different. There's so many things too that even pop up daily that you're not used to, and then have to account for and plan for. So it's been a busy time. We're ready to just start playing some football.
Coach, you come off a season that, you knew it was a kind of a rebuilding season last year. You dealt with some injuries. Rolling into this season, you've got 8 returning starters. You got some holes to fill. I know we've talked. You've got some talented players coming back to fill those holes. You got a short window to really put, your starting team out on the field. How do you go about analyzing, your depth chart, talking to your coaches, and putting the best 22 on the field come game night here in just about 2 weeks?
Well, this has been hard for us because of not having spring. That was a really big. We're going to have maybe 9 to 10 sophomores that start. So that's always really difficult. I have old coaches always tell you for every sophomore you have starting is a loss. So hopefully that's not going to be the case, because we're going to have a lot of them, because we got a lot of sophomores going to start. So not having the spring for those guys was really difficult. They had great summers, but still not having the pads on, and because, the 7-on-7 and doing drills without pads, those guys can look good. But the main thing sophomores have to learn, the young kids, is the physical part of it, getting off blocks, staying on blocks, finishing runs. And those are the things we didn't get to do a lot with them. So when we put the pads on for real, we got the shoulder pads on today, no contact with them for a couple days. But, come Saturday, it's going to be real big on evaluating those younger guys and getting them ready for the contact part of varsity football. Like I said, because we for sure going to have almost 8. It could be up to 10 sophomores that start.
Coach, out of some of your returning starters that are coming back this year, one of them, thankfully, is your starting quarterback in Trevor Moon. How has he looked during the offseason, just based on what you've seen out of him and, heard from him so far in conversations you've had? And how critical is he to the success of your team this year? And who are some other guys that you're hoping step up into those leadership roles and kind of round out those sophomores and round out those gaps?
Well, Trevor's looked great. Last year at the end of the year, he really kind of figured it out. I thought the last 4 or 5 games, and that's what it takes a lot of times, is just playing time at that position. And he's totally different, I think, physically now than he was a year ago. He's a lot quicker with his feet. He's a lot faster. His arm strength's better. He sees the game as really slowed down. So he's looked great. And we have depth at quarterback. We did not have that last year at all. So we have a new kid, Morgan, that moved in. Sorsby's looked great. So we have a lot of competition and good quarterback play in practice, and that's always great. One thing you got to have during this season, or, with this COVID, you have to have depth at all your positions. If you're not, you could have some serious problems. So quarterback's been a great one, and we have some young wide receivers going to start. We have Minifield, a running back that's going to play a lot that we're really excited about, who's as fastest kid as we've ever had here. He had the fastest 40 time we've ever had as a freshman. So before we got out of school for COVID. So, and we have 3 or 4 guys that are going to start in the secondary. We have 3 offensive linemen that are sophomores that are going to start. So, but we're excited about all of them. We've looked good in practice. I think we're better right now, no doubt, offensively than we were last year at this point. Last year, we didn't score in the inter squad against ourselves. We didn't score in the scrimmage against Azle. It took us about 3 weeks to be able to score a touchdown until we played Denton High. So I know we're a lot better offensively than we were last year, and hopefully we can build on that here the next couple of weeks.
Coach, speaking of Denton High, man, you draw a week 1 matchup against the Denton Broncos, Coach Billy Miller. Man, it's always been a nice crosstown rivalry we've talked about on the show for many years. And, you had a tough loss against them last season in overtime. How is it to start your season with Denton High? And, that one, you hate to say we got one circled on the schedule, but, man, I think you got to say you've got that one circled.
Oh, yeah, it was a tough one. They got off on us. We've had that first week we were so bad on special teams. It just killed us, and we got behind. We come back, we take a lead. We score a defensive touchdown to go up 8. There's hardly any time left, and we give up about a 70-yard touchdown pass. Really bad mistake, and gave up a long one right at the very end. They go for 2, make it, and win in overtime. So it was a tough one, but it's going to be a great challenge for us. They have 9 guys, I think, both sides of the ball back. They're big and physical. They're going to be athletic. It'll be a good test for our young kids because they're going to have a pretty good team. And I know they play in a really tough 5A Division I district. I know if they were in our district, they would definitely be competitive for a playoff spot. There's no doubt in my mind. So I think they're scrimmaging even Denison, that first scrimmage, and we'll see. They'll give a really good Denison team, I imagine, all they want. So it'll be a good test for our young kids.
Coach, anything special, for the fans that might be tuning in? I know you guys do a great job communicating there through the Lake Dallas Quarterback Club. But as far as special protocols for the fans that may want to come to Falcon Field and watch a game, has that been finalized yet?
Yeah, we've sent out, I think, something a couple days ago that, the UIL had come out with something new for fans, and we relayed that to our fans a few days ago. Our kids and coaches have worked so hard for all this, and we've had to learn a lot of things, the mask and the social distancing and all the cleaning. And, to be honest, now it's up to the parents to kind of do their part for all this. They've got to do the right things in the stands. The UIL had some direction in there that, if there's not things done right at the games, schools can, face a penalty for it. So, now it's our fans' part to do the right things, to wear their mask. Families sit together, but the rest of them need to spread out, keep their spacing. And it's going to be important for our parents now to do their part, because the kids, the coaches have been working hard at this. And I know our parents want to see the kids play. They want to be part of it too. So I know I'm pretty sure everybody's going to do their part, because the main thing we want to do is to play all the games. That's what we came here to do, and that's what we want to do.
Well, Coach, I think you said it yourself earlier. You're like, I think that, everyone's just in the routine at this point. Everybody gets it. And I think we're all just ready to see some Lake Dallas football. And we're absolutely excited to see you guys this year in 2020, and best of luck to y'all this season. All
right. Appreciate you having me. Good luck to you guys.
Yeah, we'll talk to you soon, and we'll be following you throughout the season. Have a great day and great rest of your week, Coach.
You too. Thanks a lot.